And he used to master, and he left this to underground resistance in his will. And that's what you see over here in this room right here, or studio. This is the lathe that he used. And it's a lathe that all Detroit Techno records came from this lathe, mastered from this lathe. We're building an analog studio, as you can see back here. We're going to start mastering our own music and mastering from other labels, starting off with Detroit labels. And so everything will be done the old way. There won't be any Ableton Live or that type of thing. So we're kind of proud of that. If you know anything about equipment or gear. Anybody?
Not much.
So is that an active studio now? Is that all up and running?
It will be very soon.
Sorry, sorry.
And they're playing music upstairs. This is actually the last record that Ron Murphy mastered for us before he passed away. And these are like kids of DJs and people that have worked at Underground Resistance over the years. We've always been a multicultural company, so, everybody knows you, a whole lot of people. And we get visitors throughout the year, as I stated before. We get people doing documentaries, television shows, people working on their PhDs and their theses, about electronic music. They come here and learn about the history of Detroit Techno. All that happens all the time, so that's really cool. We like that we're helping people get their degrees. And Jeff Mills, this is an interesting book. This is about Berlin and Detroit when the wall came down. And actually, it interviews, it's like an interview of people who are actually, you read it? Yeah, who are actually there when all this was happening. So if you get a chance, you should pick that up. And then you'll understand more about that Berlin-Detroit connection. Questions? This is what the building looked like before it renovated. It was like completely trashed. And so we have our museum, we have our record store downstairs, we have a rehearsal room upstairs, which we call the Metroplex rehearsal room, named after Juan Atkins's label, and we have studios on the next floor. So it's our booking agency and our t-shirt company, all in this building.
So Metroplex and Transmet and all those records and stuff because originally weren't they off of like Detroit Road or something at one point?
Wait, what?
It was off another street, like it used to be called Techno Lane or something.
Well,
like that.
actually, Transmet and KMS were on Gratiot Avenue.
Got it.
And there was only two labels over there, so I don't know why they call it Techno. Well, they call it Techno Boulevard, I think.
Techno Boulevard or something? Yeah.
Well,
So it was like
Derek's
Metroplex and
space.
Transmet, right?
No, Metroplex wasn't there.
Okay.
It was only Derek May was on the corner, and I think a building away was KMS, Kevin Saunderson. Derek's building is still there.
Right.
He still maintains a loft there. He doesn't really record there, but he has a home also in the suburbs. So, Metroplex was like on the west side.
Oh, was it?
But, like I said, Kenny Dixon is, a building across the street, which is really great. I went to that, right? Did I go to that? No. I didn't talk about it. Oh, okay. That was the other. Okay. Across the street, there's a house that Kenny Dixon, Moody Man, just purchased a few months ago that he's renovating, and he's moving his company and everything over here. Carl Craig's studio is one block over. At the corner, there's a building 2 houses away, which is, we just purchased that building along with Dimitri from Trizzo. So we're trying to develop this into like a little techno something or another, not Techno Boulevard necessarily, but community. Yeah. So it's kind of cool.
It's a cool sounding name.
Yeah.
Techno Boulevard.
Techno Move.
You should get a street name for that.
Now I can do that because I'm on the Detroit Entertainment Commission.
All right.
I'll bring that up. So this is he donated. Ron donated this to us in 2002. And, but there's like anybody can see that right here.
I didn't notice this.
Wow. It's like a mixing board.
So I don't know if this is what he envisioned Detroit would look like in the future. Maybe because a lot of people predicted doom and gloom and that Detroit would never ever come back. And a lot of people actually thought, I guess they still think that way, right? So it's kind of interesting. 'Cause I don't know if these are those like spaceships? I don't know.
Cosmic cars.
People movers.
And the showcase. And this is publications. Blake Baxter on the second wave of producers. Underground Resistance, Mike Banks, Carl Craig. Of course, Derek is a founder. Jeff Mills, Richie Hahn. And this is a photo of the third Detroit Electronic Music Festival, which was the last one. Because then after this one is when Movement came in. So the history is Carol Marvin produced DEMF for the first 3 years along with Carl Craig until she fired him. Which is kind of weird because it was his idea and Derek's to bring a festival to Detroit. So I don't know how Carl got fired, but anyway, he did. So after 3 years, she lost the contract for the festival. Derek May did it for 2 years. He produced it for the next 2 years. And at that time, things were getting really kind of shaky financially in Detroit because previously Detroit gave Carol like maybe startup money of like maybe $300,000, but she was also able to get more sponsors. So when Derek took it on, it was difficult to get more sponsors. The city had stopped giving money because they couldn't afford to. Derek used a lot of his own money to actually fund the first one he did. And he did it for 2 years. And that's when the name changed to Movement. He did it 2 years, decided he was done. He gave it to Kevin Saunderson, who did it for 1 year. And it was called, he changed the name to Fuse In Detroit's Electronic Music Festival. He rented the second floor here as his base, and he planned the festival from here. He did it for 1 year. He was the first producer to charge. But it was only like $15 a day. So now it's like $75 a day, I think.
Oh no, way more.
Way more a day?
Like 90.
Okay, 90. Okay. Maybe that's due to inflation. I don't know. But he did it he charged for a number of reasons because he needed the money because he didn't have the sponsorships that Carol had, and he probably didn't really have the know-how to do it because a lot of DJs, producers are not necessarily good business people. But he did his best, and he also was the first producer to get an accurate count of how many people actually attended the festival every year because Carol Marvin said it was 1 million.
Maybe it was. Huh? Maybe it was.
No, no way. You cannot get 1 million people on Hart Plaza in a 3-day period. It doesn't hold that many. There you go. It was like 50,000 people a day, basically. Fluctuates, but that's about it. And people embellish numbers for a number of different reasons, get more sponsorship money or whatever, so he found out the actual number. So after he decided he didn't want to do it anymore, he offered it to Mike Banks. He said, I don't want a part of it. That is how Paxahau got the festival, and they used the name Movement, which Derek May owns that name. So they are renting the name from him so he gets money from the festival because they didn't want it. So now it's Movement. So that's the history of DEMF/Movement/Fusion/Movement again.